guys, Riley the Nerd here. Hope you got scared, and happy Halloween, everybody. So yeah, this is my Halloween costume. I'm supposed to be a killer narwhal, so that's why I'm holding a knife. Not just for the spook aspect of Halloween and all that. It's not Halloween yet. We got a couple more days to go, but Halloween's just around the corner. So I decided to do a review of one of the most scariest things ever. Not just because it's a horror/sci-fi movie and the greatest one of all time. No, this figure has a scary price attached to it. Very, very scary. Actually, it's not too bad. It was only $36. But today we're going to be taking a look at the Aliens Big Chap Ultimate Edition. So yeah, I got this guy at Walmart, believe it or not. So when I found this guy at Walmart, he was basically hiding underneath a couple of shelves in the movie section. I was looking at some of the plushes that they had there. Our Walmart kind of got rearranged. And I accidentally knocked something off a shelf, so I went to go pick it up. So I leaned over, picked it up, and I saw the Alien logo on the box. And I was like, wait, what? So I took over, I removed some of the stuff that was in the way, and I saw this one, obviously, and the Aliens Warrior alien figure. I decided to get the Big Chap one because the Warrior ones, they didn't really appeal to me. I really like the classic look of the Xenomorph. And I was surprised that he wasn't actually that expensive. He was only $36. And if I got this guy at my local comic book store, he would have been like $60 or $70. So I was lucky that I got him at a decent price. The same price as the Ahaya Xenomorph Big Chap that I did a review on. Just only $6 more to the mix. But yeah, this is basically what the box looks like. We're going to take a closer look at the actual box itself. But let's just stop talking and stop rambling, and let's actually get to the actual figure, shall we? Now, before we take a closer look at the figure itself, we're going to take a closer look at the box. Even though that I already showed off the box when I was showing off my Halloween costume, I got to stretch out this video somehow. Now, as you can clearly see, the packaging is very nice. And if you couldn't tell, I was not expecting to find this guy at Walmart, believe it or not. How? My mind was literally boggled when I saw this guy at Walmart. Like how? Excuse me, like how? I literally do not understand how my Walmart actually got in the NECA Ultimate Edition. So my mind was completely boggled, just out of my way. But as you can clearly see, we have the beautiful poster of Alien there with Big Chap Ultimate Edition. Then we have Alien on the side with some eggs, and then you can see the NECA logo. And then you can see the figure, close-ups of the figure, the egg, the face hugger, and the chest burster. And then you have a little read-up of basically the movie. If you have not seen Alien or Aliens, what are you doing with your life? They're on Disney Plus if you sign up for Star on Disney Plus. Just stop watching the Alien films after Aliens, because they suck. I've watched every single Aliens film, including Alien Resurrection, and we don't need to speak about that. But you can pause there, and, And then, just like NECA, they always have a beautiful flap, and as you can see, this is where the figure would be, and inside there is the alien, the spaceship where the aliens' eggs are. You can see the walls in there. Then you have another beautiful close-up of the figure itself, and then you have the actual flap that snaps on with some Velcro, and that's pretty much it for the box. Oh, that's bright. Throw that to the side. We don't need that anymore. All right. So before, I was gonna say before we take a look at the figure, I guess that we could take a look at the actual. We're just gonna bring everything and screw it. Why not? So here we have the Alien Big Chap and the egg and a chest burster and a face hugger coming out, basically. So we're just gonna put these guys to the side quickly, and we're going to take a closer look at Big Chap himself. Now, as you can clearly see, he is very tall. He is taller than my review table. The sheet, basically. He's taller than the sheet. And let me bring in for close to scale the Big Chap that Haya produced, and I already took a look at their version of Big Chap. We're going to do a size comparison. So, yeah, as you can clearly see, the Haya version is way smaller, and they are basically the exact same price. So, basically, they're both in the 30 range. He was $30, he was $36, so very good price range there. And like unlike the Haya one, where they kind of had, they did have lots of great detail. As you can clearly see, the NECA one has a lot more actual detail sculpted into him, where the Haya one has sculpted in detail, but since it's so small, they couldn't really get away with much of the detail in the film. But I still like how they tried to sculpt in as much detail as they could, and they both have the same dry brushing brownish gray going on here. So as you can clearly see on the chest area, you can see how the chest area, you can see way better of that brown dry brushing that goes around the figure, and even in these little crevices on the arms and the legs there. So, and as you can clearly see, it has a lot more sculpted in detail, especially at the tail. The tail is wonderfully beautiful, with the nice added dry brush effect going on the tail, which is amazing. And then you can clearly see the skull. You can see the skull, but it's a little bit more smoky. So the skull is there, but it's a little bit smoky. So just like in the film, the skull was there, but you had to look really closely to see it. Unlike the SH Monster Arts Big Chap one, the skull was way too clear for most people's likings. The articulation on that figure was pretty decent. People really like to see that articulation play out. But most people agreed that the skull was just way too clear, and it kind of gave away the mysterious aspect of the aliens. And you can see the little eye sockets in there, but it's really hard to see. And the Haya version also has the skull, but it has the smoky clearness, so both amazing. And then you can see the really nice silver teeth on the jaw there, very nice. And even on the fingernails, which is also nice. And then also on the toes as well. And then you can see the more of that brown dry brushing going into the crevices of these little tubes on the back here, and even on this little spine here on the top. Very love the detail that NECA puts into their figures. I've only have one NECA alien figure, and that is the Neomorph NECA one that I did a review on a long time ago. And I may have said in my Haya review of this guy, I said that the Raven was made by NECA. It's not made by NECA. The Raven one that I did a review on was not NECA. It was actually Haya that did that. And so, yeah, I kind of had to do some research in that. So, oopsies. So, lovely. But NECA and Haya do a great job of making their alien figures really nice. So really like how this guy looks yet again. You can see the lovely little toes there. I don't know why I'm spending too much time on the toes. Before we get to the actual articulation on this guy, we're going to put him to the side for now, and we're going to take a closer look. Oops, hold on. I need to put him to the side. We're going to take a closer look at the accessories. So we're going to bring them in. And here they are. You can clearly see the little chest burster and the face hugger. We're going to take a closer look at the egg here. So the egg here is not just... Oh, I just bought my tripod. Unlike the other alien eggs that they come like NECA has made, this one actually has a sculpted base.
Before they would just take an egg and just, lay it down. But now they actually made a sculpted in base, so I'm guessing that's why it's called the Ultimate Edition, because you get a lot more accessories than the normal alien figure would. Um, so you can clearly see that lovely brown dry brushing going around on the really nice base and on the egg. And they do make a really good job of making it look really slimy, especially in the inside of the egg. They made it look like it's wet. So when the light hits it, it looks like it's wet. So that's beautiful. When I took a look at other people's reviews of this guy, they had no problems with the egg in the base. So basically, you can detach the egg from the base, and you can see the bottom of the egg there. And you just put it on, and these little grooves, and then they just fit in. But most people didn't have any problems with it. They could tip it upside down, and it wouldn't fall. But for my copy, it just falls off. And that is really annoying. So yeah, but I mean, you could probably tighten this up if you could just put a dab of super glue in these crevices and just stick it on there. But for now, it's just loose. But this actually makes it great to actually do some inside detail. So in the flaps of the egg there, you can see what I was talking about with the wet glossy effect. And they also made it look like there's veins on the lips of the egg there, and you can see the bumps and veins going around down there as well. Really nice of the egg there. Now you can put it back onto the stand, or the base, I should say. How do you put it? It goes a certain way, but there you go. And now we're going to take a look at you can't have an egg without having a face hugger. So here is the face hugger. Very nice sculpted in detail, like always, NECA. Great job. So yeah, very nice wet look on the face hugger itself. Really nice with the detail. You can't. My camera can't really pick it up. Yeah, you can't really pick it up. Come on, focus. But here, let me try to. You can. It doesn't like to focus, but there are actually sculpted in fingernails on the face huggers' tips of their legs or their fingers, whatever. So there are fingernails, just like in the film. Then you can see the rigid bone exoskeleton-like going on the tail. And then on the bottom there, you can see the underside of the face hugger, which is blue for some reason. I don't know why they decided to paint it blue, but there is some pink in there. I would like to see a lot more pink, better than the blue, and also a lot more gloss to it to make it wet. But you can, in fact, bend the face hugger's tail. They have a wire in there, but for some reason the wire doesn't go all the way to the end. Doesn't go all the way to the actual end of the tail. They just kind of stops midway, and it's really hard to bend the wire. So yeah, and also I might fear that later over time that the wire will actually snap, and then you can't do anything. But basically, you're not gonna like take a face hugger and wrap it around a figure's face. I would love to have a compatible, like a NECA alien figure scale that could actually have a face hugger wrap around the figure's face. But I don't, and I'm pretty sure they don't have a face hugger actually capable of wrapping around a figure's face unless it's sculpted in. But basically, you're just gonna have a face hugger, look like it's leaping out of the egg. That's basically what everybody does with their with their alien face hugger figures with an egg. They're just gonna make it look like it's come out. And after the face hugger, we have the chest burster, which is beautiful as always. NECA, you can do no wrong in my part. So I'm just gonna move this egg. And then you can see, it's a little hard to see because my camera is a piece of garbage, but you can see there are really nice silver teeth there, just like in the film. And you have the really, disfigured little arms there. And you can see that it is covered in blood, painted blood. I would love to see this more blood covered. And just like the face hugger, the tail is bendable, but it's not all the way, and it's stiff anyway, but you can't really get some S-curves, but you're kind of need it to stay flat because you need to make him so he can stand properly, which he does pretty well. So he's very tiny. Do not lose him. But yeah, no movable parts unless like the tail. But you know, there you go. Now for the main thing you've all been waiting for. Let's actually do some articulation with Big Chap himself. So let's bring him in. So for the head here, there's a ball joint at the head, like always. By the way, when you're posing the head, make sure that you be gentle with posing the head, because these little tubes here are loose and they are connected to the head and the shoulder. So when you move, they do move. I do like the movable plastic look, but just be careful with that. And for some reason, I did see that you can, in fact, remove this back piece. For some reason, I don't know if that's so you can get. Oh, there you go. So you can actually move the head up and down, so he can look up that far and down that far. So I'm guessing that's why you can remove it. So plug that back in. It's a little tricky to get back in. There you go. And then you can, in fact, open the mouth, and you can take the inner mouth out. Really nice sculpted in detail on the mouth with the silver teeth as well. You can still see more of that. You can see more of that brown look there as well. So you can just put it back in his mouth and close it up. So he can, for arms here, they can move in and out. Rotation at the arm can move 360 degrees. Bend at the elbow. Bicep swivel. And a hinge joint at the hand, and the hand can rotate. For the waist, it can move side to side. Get a crunch there, and an crunch and an arcing back, and you know, ball joint as well. So you can do a lot of poses with that as well. For the legs here, very stiff, but he can kick that far, move back that far. Pretty good spread. Double bend at the knee. And for the feet, they can swivel and they can move up and down. And you can simulate a pivot with that foot, and the toes can bend. And then for the tail, it has a wire in it. This is what I would like to see. What I would like to see in the face hugger and the chest burster tails, where it actually has, you know, a good decent articulation in the tail, and then you can see the tip of the tail there. And the tubes do not move at all. Some figures have the tubes on a ball joint, and this would have been a hinge joint on other figures that I've seen. So for posability, you can get a lot of articulation and poses with this guy. Just go crazy with it. Not too crazy, especially with the head because of the movable parts there. But articulation is basically the exact same as the higher version, but just a bigger scale. But I think that these two figures are equal with each other with posability. But I would recommend getting the higher one because it's a lot more smaller. And posability is wonderful with a figure this size. But you can display him on a shelf without taking enough room. But with him, as you can clearly see, he's a large and he's a tall figure. So you're probably going to need a lot of shelf space to, like, put him on. So I have no idea where I'm going to put this guy. I'm probably going to put the egg and the chest burster next to my small one here. But I don't know where I'm going to put Big Chap, but I'll probably figure something out. That's going to do it for this review, guys. Hope you enjoyed the review. Like, comment, subscribe. I don't care what you do, but you guys know what time it is. So, bye, guys, and also happy Halloween.